Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the desktop to take a look at what has been going on most recently with Bitcoin. We've seen some interesting moves with the price action of BTC, so I want to give you guys a bit of an update as to what I think is likely to happen next. Now as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button, I really do appreciate that. And if you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below, completely free to join, and it's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. I don't think you'll be disappointed by joining. Okay guys, as we get into this, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. Okay guys, so we're going to start in, this hourly chart. There's quite a fair few things I need to talk about, okay? So obviously it's very messy, right? So we're going to first of all just zoom in here. We'll pay attention to the most recent move, right? Which is this ABC down. Okay, so we had 5 impulsive moves up, and we are tracking this ABC down. We hit the 1-to-1 ratio. We actually fell short of going impulsive, so there's no reason to think that we are going to see a 4th wave up and a 5th wave down. But there is, some additional waves that are going on here that are probable. They're probably going to give us a bit of an idea as to what's going on. So the first thing I want to kind of take a look at here is all of these wicks right down at the bottom. Let me grab hold of my rectangle so you guys can see all of this, right? So right here, this effectively, at least yesterday, would have been a buy zone. And the reason for this is that you're seeing a lot of exhausted sellers right here. This is a buying zone that was basically, we were seeing a lot of Bitcoin basically be bought up. Okay, now that was yesterday, so we can't buy that zone today, obviously. This is short-term trading. But we are seeing, a very similar thing right up here, but this being more of a bear flag, okay? So basically, traders potentially buying down here, we're selling up here. So you're seeing that these amount of wicks here, you're getting exhausted buyers, and you're basically seeing the price reverse. Now you couple this with the stochastic RSI, we are looking for some kind of reversal action here. So I'm going to remove those boxes, but I just wanted to kind of highlight the differences on why we're seeing exhausted buyers, exhausted sellers, exhausted buyers. I mean, you can see that we're getting trapped inside this move right now. So we've got a high stochastic RSI. We know that this is our C wave low just down here, and therefore we want to be tracking upwards, right? And we can see that there's a small ABC here, and we're potentially on an ABC down. Now, the encouraging thing here, if I grab hold of this, is that effectively what we're looking at is obviously all of this area here where we're finding exhausted buyers, and we're seeing selling pressure come in. It stops this C wave going higher, right? So it fell short just here. So we can see that that's something that's happened here. Now, obviously, this is on a smaller time scale, so this actually might be that this is big wave B, and we have another test up here, and we get rejected again. There's high probability of rejection at this point, right? So I think the higher probability of what we're looking for is that this here is in fact our A, B, C move, and what we're actually now looking at here is an A, B, C coming down. Okay, that would actually align up with our stochastic RSI. The good news is that even on that kind of measurement right here, this shouldn't be a significant pullback. Maybe it's a retest of this $40,000 range, 40,800, or potentially a little bit lower than that. We aren't expecting it to go too much further. We've got overlap here as well between, if I just remove this one, I'll grab my pencil. So we've got a couple of wicks here, and we've got all of these wicks here. These are overlapping. So effectively that means that it's not an impulsive move that can be detected here, okay? This is basically a pretty standard A, B, C move inside of this C weave move here, right? So right now we're actually looking for some kind of reversal on this hourly chart. Now, what we have on a slightly longer term is potentially a move up higher. Now, we just need to see this hourly stochastic get lowered, so it's in line with our 4-hourly chart. As you can see, this 4-hourly chart has been completely oversold for quite a few candles now. When we come into our 8-hourly, you can see it's got a little bit more to come down, and that's really where the hourly chart comes in. If we start to see this thing just move back down into this lower range, maybe 40,800. I'm not really anticipating it coming down much lower than that. This is an area of support. As you can see, I had marked this one up. And, pulling down a little bit lower actually is just retesting this area here. So I'm not anticipating us coming down too much lower. What I would think is that we are probably going to be tracking on a slightly larger scale some kind of flat correction, something to this effect maybe, or something to this effect, where we go up and we have a bit of a ceiling and a bit of a sideways trade. There's some kind of consolidation going on just down here, and that should allow us to both correct the 1 hourly chart, but also the 8 hourly chart to a point where they're actually aligned to the 4 hourly chart, okay, which would be pretty good. Now, obviously, as we start to move over to the right-hand side, you can see what my expectations are. The expectation is that all of this move to the downside here is just wave 4, a big ABC move, and then we start to track an impulsive move of 5 waves up, right? A wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I've just put them in there to give us an indication of the kind of direction. That's not price specific. We need to see how these candles play out, but this actually then coincides with a C wave high and a 5th wave high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just zoom on out into a 4 hourly chart here and just bring this back down a tiny little bit. So we can see that basically what we have, actually I might have to do this on the hourly because it is very, very cluttered. So yeah, let me bring this back, right? So up here we effectively have an A wave. It's actually doubled up, so I'm going to remove one of those and get that again, right? So we have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Now this C wave in itself, which takes us up to about 47,500, here is actually made up of an impulsive move, right? So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, okay? And what we have is this really big impulsive wave 3. And we have this consolidation where we are right now at the bottom of wave 4, and then we look to go up into those 5 waves. The importance of this, I've spoken about this before, is that we have 5 waves up inside wave 1. We've got 3 waves down inside wave 2. We've got 5 waves up inside wave 3. We've got 3 waves down inside wave 4. We want to see 5 waves up inside that 5th wave and that final wave upwards towards $47,500. That would actually complete the structure. And I've spoken about this before, but the structure is 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, 3 waves down. This is where we are right now, right here. This is where we are. And then we look for 5 waves up. Okay, after this, we end up with a big ABC correction going down. Okay, so we have the impulsive move up, and then we are done. Now, what we look for here is the fact that we have an ABC on a daily chart. Now, if I bring up into a daily chart here, we can actually see the impulsive move a little bit clearer. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But beyond this, what you have, if I grab my ABC, is an A wave up here, a B wave coming down, and a C wave going up. That C wave being $47,500. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at on the bigger time frame, on the bigger piece here. Of course, it's possible that C wave goes impulsive and we actually see an ABC move down, and then, you know, we can just continue running. And again, that would actually be part of what's going on with our weekly chart, right? Because the weekly chart is very early in its stages of this push upwards. So we had this 4th wave down here, and you know, we've been tracking this for a very long time, guys. So if you're new to the channel, do look back at some of these things. But basically, this bull run started back in pretty much December 2018, right, for Bitcoin. 2020 was a rough year because of everything that was going on with the pandemic, and then obviously 2021 was effectively the wave 3. It was pretty much just straight up, right? That's kind of the euphoria moment for wave 3. Wave 4 pullback, that was when everyone was calling it a bear market, when we surged up and set a new all-time high, and we pulled back down to 32k. Now I'm going to just hypothesize, guys, that this actually could just be something much bigger than many people actually anticipate, and that is that this is wave 1, this is wave 2, we go into a wave 3 higher, and then we call back for a wave 4, and then we go up even higher into a 5th wave, right? And potentially that takes us right towards the end of the year or whatever, right? That's pure speculation, but it's very possible at this point, and we would know based on what happens next here for Bitcoin. If we end up in a very similar situation as what we saw with this 3rd wave, just on a slightly smaller scale, then actually what we're going to potentially see is a very significant move. Now, that move in itself should be larger than this move that we had here from 28k to 69k. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we have to consider, lots of things that we have to kind of be aware of in terms of what is potentially going on with that weekly chart. It's very, very good to see how we are currently tracking here on this weekly. So as I come back into our kind of hourly chart, if I bring that up, For the here and the now, what are we actually expecting? Well, I'm expecting some volatility. I'm not expecting any major moves, though. I am just expecting us to kind of trade sideways between a couple of key areas. These are kind of being scoped out by the buyers and sellers of Bitcoin right now, with the amount of exhausted sellers right at this range here and the exhausted buyers at this range. It's telling me that we're probably going to be trading between 40,800, maybe a little bit lower, as we have got some interesting zones about $40,000. It's possible that we do come down into that range a little bit, but no higher than 42. It might just be that actually what we end up doing is trading inside here for a little bit before we actually start to see a good surge back upwards into these impulsive moves that I'm kind of expecting. Now, invalidation for all of this, invalidation is actually reasonably low. We cannot go down lower. In fact, yeah, it's about here actually. We cannot drop below this level, which would be, if I grab my high, 40,350. Okay, so if we drop down lower than that, then that basically means this impulsive move up doesn't happen. Okay, so we have to be quite aware and quite cautious over that. We are relatively deep on this fourth wave correction at the moment, so I'm not expecting it to go down much lower. So we just want to be aware that if that does happen, then we have to assume that there is no more impulsive move up, and we have to consider that we are tracking much further down, and I'd have to do some recounts on what is going on there. So we want to be holding this area the best that we can, as this is effectively a potential bottom for a fourth wave. So guys, that's kind of what I see going on here with Bitcoin at the moment. Do expect some volatility on the smaller time frames, but long term or medium to long term, we're actually looking pretty good. We want to be tracking nicely to the upside. We obviously have some pretty good stuff going on with the daily chart and with the weekly chart. We do want to kind of get some corrections in place, though. We want to see those stochastic RSIs on the hourly, the 4 hourly, and the daily be pulled back down a little bit. We want to see them back in the oversold area so that we can continue the growth to the upside. So we do want some nice corrections to come in, some nice accumulation points, and then we can continue the rally to the upside. Guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.